Okay, so this is the zombie dragon from Reaper Bones, the Dark Heaven series. After washing it, decided I wanted to put some paper clips up the wings here to make it easier to hold on to when I'm airbrushing it. So I just used my pin vise there and went ahead and took care of that. I also put some on the main body, but throughout the course of the video, I just end up holding onto the body by itself. There it is. Okay, I'm going to use some Stynylrez Black. Pop this into the airbrush and go ahead and get it primed. Okay, so I decided to make this zombie dragon a recently dead green dragon. It's the closest thing I could think of what it looked like, apart from from looking at the sculpt itself. The dragons from D&D, they're pretty well known when you look at them. Especially like your black dragon. It's got that big old skull face on it. So I just wanted to go ahead and make this a green zombie dragon. The color here, I didn't specify it originally. You'll see it pop up here a little bit later. This is Vallejo Model Air Rushing Green. I wanted a darker, like a foresty type green to start everything off with. And then I'll eventually build that up with some different colors. And in a lot of shots, you'll see me holding on to that paper clip there, or not, just like you see here. I found that the body was a little too heavy to hold on to just by the paper clip. But yep, go ahead and airbrush the body as well. Airbrush isn't anything fancy. It's just a master series that I picked up off Amazon. When I got back into the hobby a couple years ago, I went ahead and picked up one of those. Yep, there's the paint there. Also using Citadel Layer Baylor Brown. I'm going to use that for the base color on the inside leathery sections of the wings. And then I'll eventually just go ahead and shade and highlight, and then add some more colors to it with the airbrush later on. Okay, to add a little bit more color, I'm using a Citadel shade. This is Beal Tan Green. I'm not using it as a typical shade to get into the recesses. More of just adding some more color to start bringing up the highlights, which is odd for a shade, but when you see it applied, you're going to see what I'm talking about here. You got that dark, almost olive drab green, and then put the shade on there, and it's almost like a filter. I'm also doing it on the upper portion of the wings. This is the outside portion of it. And I still want a little bit of that tan color to come through. Now for the inside of the wings, I'm using Reichland's Flesh Shade. This is a reddish brown shade from Citadel. And this is going to give it more of that leathery type of color. There we go. And then what I'll do is I'll dry the brush off and suck up a lot of those pools of the shade, just so I don't get any coffee staining on there. Okay, starting with some highlights. Olive green, Vallejo model color. This brush I'm using here, this is one of the Army Painter dry brushes. It comes in a set of 3. This is the largest out of all 3 of them, and it's pretty much my favorite one out of all of them. The other alternative I have are some cheap makeup brushes, But this one looks like it's doing just fine right there. Okay, lightening it up a little bit more. Vallejo Game Color Escarpina Green. And with this, I'm just going to hit the higher spots here. Now, if I would have thought about it, as I'm thinking about it right now, for this one, I should have just gone like an upward motion to catch the edges of the scales. But live and learn. Okay, onto the gory bits using Gory Red, Vallejo Game Color. I've already got some a first coat on a lot of these open wounds. Just getting a second coat in there. Give it more of that gory look to it. I said this zombie dragon has not been a zombie for a long time, so a lot of the open wounds are still going to be nice and juicy. Okay, then I'm going to brighten that up a little bit with some Evil Sun Scarlet from Citadel. And then for the open flesh is going to be Vallejo Model Color Beige Red. I wanted to use this one for if there was like a piece of skin hanging, which there are a couple of them. And then the Evil Suns just to brighten up some of the larger gory bits. Now this one is it's only the second dragon that I've painted since I got back into the hobby. The first one was a copper dragon that I painted well before I started the channel, but I'll show him off in in another video, maybe like an end of year or end of first year type video. But yeah, it's I'm having a good time with these dragons too. I mean, there was a oh there we go, Citadel Shade, Carabag Crimson. This is mainly to give it a little bit more definition to those fleshy bits that are hanging off of them. But yeah, there's a Dragon of the Month deal years and years ago from a company called Grenadier, and if you got all the dragons, send in all the proofs of purchase, you got a Dragon Lord and a dragon mount, and you got these old gemstones, and it was pretty cool. So maybe sooner or later I'll start revisiting the old Dragon of the Month dragons, and with the newer sculpts that from all these different companies, because all those old dragons I had before, they're long gone, and if you try and find them nowadays, they're pretty much a pretty penny. So let's see what we got here going on. This is a little bit more of that Carabag Crimson, just giving a little bit more depth to the gory bits there. Okay, again with the Model Color Beige Red. This time it's in the airbrush, and I want to give a little bit of pinkish hue to the underside of the wings there, just for a little bit more color. And it was at this point too where I found that there was a huge mold line that I missed. I believe it's on the other wing, but now you can actually see a little bit of one there. Didn't even see it during the cleanup process, but live and learn, right? And then there is the other wing there. Give it a little bit more fleshy feel. And then onto the Army Painter Matte Black. I wanted to define some of the areas where that had been torn, show that the skin had died in those areas. So just going in really lightly with the my pressure down pretty low. Just to give that little rotting flesh look at the tips too. There we go. And what's good for one side is good for the other side. So I'm just hitting the outer wing areas with the same matte black. This is a fun dragon to paint. It was a lot of opportunities. You could color it any way you wanted to be a zombie. Like I said, I just went with the green dragon, so had a lot of fun doing it too. Using some sponging on the base with the Eshin Gray here. Yeah, the base is pretty cool. It's got some dragon runes carved into the bottom of it. So, then Army Painter, light tone wash. When you look at rocks out in the wild, they're not just gray. There's different colors in them. There's blues and browns and greens. So I just wanted to add a little bit more color to the base here. Okay, time to take the paper clips out. Don't use your good nippers on these. Use wire cutters. You will ruin them like you cannot imagine. Or what you can do is what I found out right afterwards. Just pull it out. Okay, a little bit of detail painting on the face, the eyes and the teeth. And you can see that I did a little bit more detail on the bone work in there and the fleshy bits. Like I said, I had a good time painting this one. Okay, some contrast paint here. This one I just used the contrast for the teeth. Didn't even show that. The Griffhound Orange, I did this one for the eyes, which the eyes are actually, there you go, had a little too much in there and it pulled up, but I pulled most of it out. But when it dried, it actually looks like, it almost looks like damaged skin. So I will take that. Technical, Tesseract Low. I just wanted to pick out a few scales and add a little bit more color. Like I said, this guy hasn't been a zombie for a whole long time, so I still wanted to give him a little bit of color on his skin. I'm sure if you wanted to, you could probably make this thing look gray and dingy, but yep, I wanted to stick with the green dragon. Okay, so after a little bit more detail painting, I'm going to get a few things done off camera, but we're going to go ahead and work on a little bit more of the base here. There are little dragon runes there, you can see, some of which are easier to see before you prime it, but going with model color Hull Red from Vallejo. This is going to be just a stipple, almost a dry brush. I take a lot of paint off with that. You can see I've dry brushed a lot with that paper towel, but I'm just going to get most of it off the brush. Go ahead and get it on there. Just going with the one color, so. Like I said, the hardest thing to do on this right now is just trying to find where one dragon ends and the next one begins. But pretty happy with the result, how it came out. So, best dollar store find right now is super glue, liquid CA. I use this for basing. I do it in little sections though, because the fumes can get pretty nasty. So what I do here is I just go ahead and coat the area that I want to base, pull out some fine sand, and then just go ahead and dump the sand right over the top of it. Dump the sand right over the top of it. Come on, let's go. There we go. And I do this in small sections just because, like I said, those fumes can be pretty nasty. There we go. So there's more of the base completed. Just putting some finishing touches on right now. There's going to be more done off camera, but right now what I'm doing here is getting some tacky glue on there. I'll take a wet paintbrush, spread it around, and then I've got my homemade flock that's just basically painted sawdust. Whenever I make it, I've got 3 different grades that I have: coarse, medium, and fine. That's the finest I have right now. So, but we are getting down to the wire on this one, so if you like the video, please do me a favor and give it a like. Doesn't cost you a thing, and it helps out the channel tremendously. If you're not already subscribed, why not? We're having a great time with this so far. I'm up to I think 16 videos right now, and just working on this is the first year. But yeah, a lot more coming down the pike. Got some grass tufts here, and there'll be some things that I do off camera to finish it up. But yeah, let's get set up for the final reveal. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate it.